Hello fellow woodworkers and welcome to this week's edition of the Garage Workshop 10-minute tool review. This week we're going to be looking at some of my recent Parkside purchases and looking forward to the DIY Mega Sunday that's coming up at the end of August. Roll the intro. So for this week's video, I thought I'd go back to some of the Parkside DIY items that you can currently buy in store. All of my previous videos on Parkside bargains can all be found in my channel, and some of the things that I've used in some of my videos are coming up pretty soon, and I'll talk about those a bit later in the video. This week I bought a few items which I'm really keen to share with you. Nothing major, nothing really big and expensive, although one item is, but just really useful woodworking tools. So we're going to take each one as it comes. I'll talk you through them, how much they cost, and also I'll talk to you about how to use them if you don't know already. So let's start with the very first item on my Parkside hit list. Having said that nothing's very expensive, the first thing that I bought this week in Lidl is this, the Cordless circular saw. Now, I'm not going to say too much about this because I've got an upcoming 10-minute tool review where I put this through its paces and then we see how it performs in line with my circular saw and reviews of other budget circular saws. But this was a really nice capture and I just couldn't resist. I think it was $44.99. I'll put the correct price on the screen, but it is a bare bones unit. It doesn't come with the battery charger and it also doesn't come with the battery. So if you've already got some of the Parkside batteries, you're going to be absolutely fine. But with the battery pack, which I also bought, but with this added battery, the rechargeable battery pack and the charger, which is a 20 volt 2 amp hours battery, I think the combined cost was something like $64.99. I'll put the link in the screen. So worth buying if you've already got a range of Parkside tools, as you know I have. And if you haven't and you want to get the whole set, it's going to cost you about £64 odd. I'll put the exact price on the screen. But as I said, coming up in an upcoming 10-minute tool review, so I won't talk too much about that now. Let's move on to the second item in my little Parkside tool haul. Okay, so the next tool that's in this week's middle of little bargains is this, I think this is called a combination square. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I think I have mentioned this before, but they're now back on sale. This is a really nice piece of kit. I've got two of these. I've got this one made by Parkside and I've also got one made by Magnuson, and I have to say the Parkside one is A, made a lot better quality than the Magnuson one I've got, and B, it just feels much nicer. It's I think that's powder coated, but it's aluminium, but it's got a really nice feel to it. It's got a built-in spirit level, to be fair, they've all got those, and it's got different adjusters on it, but it is a really nice quality square. And I think at the moment I'm writing saying that they are $5.99 each. I think they work in comparison, or they're alongside another measuring tool which I'll show you in a minute, but a really nice piece of kit for the money. If you've already got one, it's always really handy to have two of these, and I tend to have one that I use when I'm doing a project so I can set it at the table saw and keep it at that, another one for measuring angles and checking for angles. So a really nice piece of kit at $5.99. So that's the first in this little mini tool haul. Now the second item is this Parkside measuring tool. Now I didn't think when I bought this that I would really use it that much, but I have been quite surprised at how often I have used it. I'm not going to lie, I've mainly used it for checking that I've got right angles or making sure that measurements I've made are correct. It can be used in lots and lots of different ways. You can use it for making all different shapes, for marking inlays and outlays. You can actually also take it apart and use it more as a sort of T-square, which to be honest I haven't done, but it certainly shows that you can do that on the box. Now this is the old one. I haven't bought the one in this week's sale. Now they've added a little crafty edition, and I'll put a little picture up of it here. There's now a piece of plastic with sort of circle in the middle, which you can use for fixing the square and for getting more accurate measurements. Now it's something that this is missing, but having looked at it, I think it's something I could easily knock up on the 3D printer, but it is an improvement. And one of the things that I notice about Parkside tools is if they produce something and it goes out there and they get feedback on it, they will quite often change it or upgrade it or add little improvements here and there. And the one that they've made to this is actually a really good, I mean it should have been on the original, it is a really good idea. But if you're in the market for one of these, definitely a really nice nice investment. And again, like the carpenter square, £5.99 in the current middle of Lidl best of buys. Okay, so the next items that we're going to look at is sandpaper. Now, sandpaper, as you know, comes in lots and lots of different shapes and sizes, and I bought 2 rolls today. This first one, which is, it says material flint, it's basically for sanding wood. It does tell you on the packet what it's there for. If you can see that little description, it says for sanding wood, and it says that this one is 60 grain. Now, I have to say, I use this for the majority of my projects. It's really good at knocking off wood. They do sell it in lots of different grades. I think it goes up to 120, but really, really useful sandpaper to have. I'll put the price on the screen, but it's not very expensive. And as you can see, there's a nice big roll of it. I'm just wondering if it says how long that actually is. Yeah, it says it's 5 meters long, and it's 11.5 centimeters or 115 mil across. So this one, which I've got, which is just for sanding wood, and this one I've got is for sanding wood as well, and also sanding metal. It's the aluminum or aluminium oxide one. Again, it says it's rated as a 60 in terms of coarseness, but I have to be honest, I've used this quite a lot on wood, and it does sand at a different depth to this one. I do find this one is much more abrasive, so if you're trying to knock things off of wood a lot quicker, this is the one for you. But both of these are in the current sale, and they are well worth picking up. They're really nice quality sandpapers for what is effectively not a huge amount of money. So that's the next item in my little Parkside tool review. Okay, so the next tool we're going to look at is the Parkside Multitool. Now, I'm pretty sure I've done a review of this before, so apologies if I have, but this piece of kit is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best tools that I've ever bought made by Parkside, and to me, having used things like Dowel and all of those other ones, to me this does everything that does, and it's probably literally half the price. I don't know what they're going for at the moment, but this base unit, now it is only the base unit, and as I said with the circular saw, you do have to have the batteries that fit with it. There are 2 different types of batteries, and actually this is the older one. The newer one has got a slightly different design on the back, so it accepts the bigger rechargeable square base rechargeable battery, which I don't think you can get for this one. You might be able to, but it definitely they've changed the end slightly to fit that. A really, really nice piece of kit for the money, and again, it does everything. It's got 6 power speeds, it's multifunctional, you can put anything in it, and another really important thing is the collet at the top accepts all of the major brand tools. So I've got Erbauer bits that go in it, I've got DeWalt bits that go in it, I've got Bosch bits that go in it. It just takes everything. It's an absolute little powerhouse for what it is, and I've used it in so many projects in the garage workshop. One of the tools I bought quite early on, and one of the ones that I'm really glad I did. So if you haven't got one and you're thinking about it, as I said, it's about I think it's £27.99 in the current deal. It's really, really worth having it. It's a really nice, handy tool to have. So that's the next tool in my little mini tool haul. Okay, so the next item we're going to look at is one of these. It's a magnetic tool holder. Now, I have got one of these. This is one that I made myself. I 3D printed it from a template that I got from Thingiverse, and this is essentially the same item. It does exactly the same thing, but when I pop it open, there is one major difference. This is actually magnetized. I'm not sure if you can see on the back. It's got a magnetic plate, which it also has traditional fixing holes, but the magnetic plate means that it will stick onto anything. And actually in the picture on the box, it's got it stuck on the side of like one of those snap-on tool chests, but a really, really handy addition. Now, I've got a lot of wood in the garage workshop, don't get me wrong, most of the stuff around here is wood, but it is really, really nice having that feature, and it says it takes up to 4 kilograms in weight. It's really ruggedly made as well. It's nice quality. It's much better than my homemade one. You can see the difference, pretty much the same size, but obviously having the magnetic bit on the back works really well. So a really, really nice little tool holder. Let's see if it will stick on the fridge. I don't think it will. Oh, no, it does. So, as you can see, it sticks really nicely. In fact, oh, blimey, that is a powerful magnet. So, a nice little tool holder if you've got a lot of metal cabinets in your workshop, or if you've got a lot of tool chests, well worth having. Okay, so the next item, I've actually recently been researching the internet to see if I can find some without any luck. And when I went into Lidl to get the other things, I saw it and I thought, wow, what an absolutely brilliant, bizarre coincidence. These are depth collar stops, so hopefully you can see those there. And what you basically do is just slide them on your drill bit, and it allows you to adjust to different depths. Now, these sets, I looked through where they were in Lidl, and I could only see this one set. Now, these are specifically designed for wood drill bits. They're not for masonry, they're not for any of the other types of drill bit. They are only for wood drill bits. And there are 3 collars in this set. There's a 6mm, an 8mm, and a 10mm. And they are to slide on to allow you to adjust the depth, and I'll show you in a little video up there how it works. And it allows you to precisely gauge how long or how deep you want to drill something. Now, traditionally, and I'm sure you're the same, I tend to use a piece of masking tape or electrician's tape wrapped around my drill bit, and I just push the drill bit in until then. I have got collets, but they're on my pocket hole drills usually. So this one, it says they're made from carbide steel. It's in 6, 8 and 10mm, and you just slide it to exactly where you want it on the drill bit, tighten it up with the included hex key, and the little pins are in there, the little screws, or they look like little grub screws are in there. Tighten it up and away you go. A really, really useful addition, and something that, as I said, I was looking for, and when I went in and saw them I was like, wow, that's brilliant. It's a shame it's only made for wooden drill bits, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure if it would be much good for anything else, masonry. But a really, really nice little set there, and I'll put the price on screen, but I want to say I think these were $1.99 for the set of 3, which I think is fantastic value. So depth stop collar set is the next item in my list. Okay, so the next item in the set is one of these. It's a Dowel marker set. I'm not sure if you know how these are used, but basically what you do is you drill the hole in the dowel hole in the first piece of wood, and then you put one of these, you just plop it into the hole that you've drilled, and it's got a little pointy collar that sticks out on the end. You then offer up the second piece of wood to where you want it to be, and you just push it down, and it leaves an imprint on the piece of wood so you know where to drill your dowel. Now, I have got a set of these, and the set I've got, I think I got them from Screwfix. It was quite a long time ago, but these ones are really, really nice. So there's dowel markers for 6mm, 8mm and 10mm, so very similar to the collar, and the diameter of them is 9mm, 11mm and 13mm, and the height is all 14mm. So a really, really nice little set. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, and there's 12 in the packet, and they also were $1.99. Now, the only problem that you do get with these sometimes is if the spike or the point isn't very well made. Sometimes if you're using harder bits of wood and you push down, you either have a tendency to sort of blunt the end of it, or sometimes it can slip off. But these dowel marking sets, they look in really nice quality actually. They're made from carbon steel, so I think they'll be quite useful. Again, a really, really nice little thing to have around the workshop, and at £1.99 for a set of 12, I don't really think you can go wrong with that. So, apart from the items that I've already bought, and I hope you found something there that you found interesting or something that you yourself might likely buy, apart from that, there is a big DIY sale coming up at the end of the month. Parkside tend to, and Lidl tend to have, around the bank holiday weekend at the end of August, they tend to have a bigger DIY sale, and this is no exception. And there are some pieces in kit coming up that I really want to let you know about. The first being the favourite tool in the garage workshop, and that is the Parkside plunge saw. Again, it's coming back up. It's $79.99 this time, which does show you how much it's gone up, because when I bought this one last year, I think it was $74.99, or it might have even been $69.99. It is a fantastic piece of kit. I cannot recommend it highly enough for what is an entry-level plunge saw. And as you know, if you've seen the videos on this channel, I talk about this all the time. a fantastic, absolutely fantastic plunge saw for the money. And even at the slightly increased price of $79.99, it is well worth it. Don't forget, it comes with two track sections which you can take apart and add together. I've also got a really nice video on how to adapt a track if you want to buy a longer one for this, which I'll put a link to above. So the first item that I wanted to draw your attention to is the Parkside plunge saw. The other two items, one of which I've mentioned before. Now, this is a really lovely piece of kit for measuring smaller, precise gaps. I've used this all the time. I use the depth bit at the end, and I use both this sort of in and out jaws, and I've used it in previous videos on the channel. A really, really handy piece of kit to have. If you haven't got one, it is coming up at the end of August, and it's going to be $9.99. So if you're in the market for one, grab one. I've got one. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit and well worth having. Now, the last item that is in this upcoming review is this. It is the Parkside hole saw set. Now, the new one looks different to this. The blades are red, and it includes the same, I think it's got the same amount, might even have a couple more. This is a very old set from Parkside, but a really, really useful hole set, and it's $10.99, the one that's coming up. But if you haven't got a hole set, and you can see from the state these are in, I use mine quite a lot. If you haven't got one, it's a really, really nice entry-level set. The last thing is just trousers. As you'll have seen in a previous video not long ago, I reviewed the Parkside shorts, workman shorts, and they're coming up again in the end of August summer bonanza DIY. They're $9.99 a pair. Really nice, really comfortable. These are actually my work zone ones, but they're really, really nice, comfortable trousers. I've got both the shorts and the long trousers from Parkside. Really nice material, very hard wearing, so well worth picking up if you've got some. So that's my 3 upcoming best buys from the middle of Lidl. Okay, so fellow woodworkers, I hope that little introduction of some of the things that you can currently buy and some of the things that are coming up from Parkside was useful. I know these videos, when I do reviews of Parkside tools or when I talk through Parkside hauls, I know they get a lot of views and I get really good feedback on them. So hopefully, with a bit of luck, that's helped you in making some decisions, or if there are things that you've been looking out at, hopefully some of them are on the list. Don't forget to keep your eye out for the next 10-minute tool review, where I'm going to be putting the cordless circular saw from Parkside through its paces, and it's going to get some really, really strong usage, so please keep your eye out for that. If this is your first time at the Garage Workshop, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for watching the video. Please can I ask you to subscribe, like and comment. There's lots of Parkside videos in my back catalogue if you're interested in those. If you're a regular viewer, thank you so much for your ongoing support. It means a huge amount to me. I really enjoy getting your feedback, so keep the comments coming. Hope you have a fantastic week, fellow woodworkers, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye bye.